Did you know that Jesus is always with us?
Even if we can't see him.
That's right, I'm Buckle.
And I'm Isla.
And welcome to The Link Show. Hello everybody, Buckle here. Welcome back to another episode of The Link Show. It's term 2. You're back from your Easter holidays, even though today we're actually still sort of talking about the story of Easter. We're talking about what happened after Jesus rose again. So there's a pretty special story we're going to look at in the Bible a little later on.
But Buckle, we need to let everyone know what we're doing today.
We do! I'm glad you reminded me. First up, we've got a really special craft that's also a maze. So you can colour it in and you get to do a maze. It's going to be a heap of fun.
After that, we're looking at your arts and crafts. You are so talented.
I know, I love them. And we're going to take a look, hopefully, at some of your Easter colourings, because we haven't seen those yet. I can't wait to see them all together. After that, we're going to be looking at today's animated Bible story. And then, Isla, what happens right at the end?
The Bible quiz.
The Bible quiz, which is going to be so much fun. But here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to get started on colouring our craft, which looks like this. There's actually two versions. There's an easier one if you're one of our younger friends, and there's a little bit of a harder one if you're one of our older friends. But while we get started on that, why don't you go check out Preach Part 1. Okay, so I want to tell you a story about a game that we used to play when we were at school. So it was a little bit like tag, except it was the opposite way around. So normally when you play tag, one person is it, everyone else has to run around, and that one person has to try and race after everyone and tag them. So what we used to do is we used to do the opposite. So one person would be it, they would be the person, but instead of them doing the tagging, they had to get tagged by the other 10 people or however many were playing. But the thing was, if you wanted to tag them, you had to do it without being seen. So we would play it throughout like the whole day. So like in the morning we'd pick someone and they would be it, and then the other 5 or 10 of us would be the ones chasing, and they would know, and if they saw you coming, that was it. You couldn't tag them, you had to wait until later on. So the trick was to get as close to the person as you could without them knowing that you were there. Now, I had one friend who was super tricky, and so I was it. I was the one that everyone was trying to tag, and so I'd already seen everybody in the morning, and so no one got to tag me. They all went off and waited till later. But at lunchtime, I was walking past the playground, and I looked around and there was no one there. It was all empty. So I was like, great, it's safe for me to walk past to get to the water bubblers. But as I walked past, there was a little tunnel that was sideways that I was walking past. My friend had been sitting in that tunnel for 10 minutes waiting for me to come out. He had left class right as the bell had left. As soon as the teacher said, he already had his lunchbox out. That was the trick. He had his lunchbox and he raced down and hid in the tunnel. So I was out in my bag getting my lunchbox. I'd already seen all my other friends, so they couldn't tag me until the next break. And then I'm walking down, and as I walked past this tunnel, he was there and I didn't even know it. He jumped out, tag, and he won for the day. So then he became the it person for the next day. But I was thinking a little bit about this and the Bible story that I'm going to tell a little later on, because it's a story in the Bible called The Road to Emmaus. And just so you understand the context, this is after Jesus has risen again. So it's after Easter. He's died on the cross, he's risen again, but it's before he's gone back to heaven. So it's this little gap here. And he's actually spending time with some disciples, but they don't know that it's him. He's with them and they don't even know that he's there. Just like my friend, he was there and I didn't even know it. And I wonder, have you ever felt like you felt alone, or felt like you were trying to find where Jesus was in your problem? Maybe something was going wrong, maybe someone was sick, maybe someone was being mean to you. You were in the middle of a problem and you were like, Jesus, where are you? You said you would help me, but I can't see where you are in this problem. Well, a little later on, I want to talk about the fact that even if we can't see him, even if we don't know what's going on, that Jesus is always there. He is with us even when we can't see him. Just like my friend in that tunnel. He was there, but even though I couldn't see him, he was there. And that in the middle of your problems, no matter how crazy it gets and how difficult it is and how frustrated you might feel, even if you don't feel like you can see Jesus there, I want to talk about the fact that he is there and he is with you. Welcome back, everybody! Look what we've done! I've got the easy maze. So I've coloured in the people at the top and the words in blue, and I used some really cool bright colours for the city because we're doing the road to Emmaus, which we'll talk about in the story later. You'll understand why it's a maze, why they're on the road, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to have a go at doing my maze in just a moment, but Isla, let's show everyone the harder maze.
Mine's pretty difficult. I don't know if I can do it.
Look
like
at
the
that.
maze.
I'm so glad I got the easy one.
Hopefully I can do it. But for the words I've done pink. For the city I've done different
Oh, I love the blue and the purple and the orange. Yours looks so clever. But you know what I want to stop and take a look at? All of your arts and crafts. Let's see how talented you are. Whoa, look at all of your Easter colorings. I can't wait to put all of those together and make them my computer background on my computer and my phone because you're so talented. But hey, look, we've done our maze. We've all done it. Mine's orange because mine was the easy maze. Mine took no time. But look at you, Isla. You've done the difficult one. I am so impressed. Look at that. But hey, why don't we go check out today's animated Bible story. After Jesus had died on the cross and rose again, 2 of his disciples were walking from Jerusalem to a town called Emmaus. But these 2 disciples did not know that Jesus had risen from the dead. They were still sad because they thought that Jesus was gone and was never coming back. But while they were walking along the road, Jesus appeared with them. But they didn't even realize that it was Jesus. He asked them, "Why do you look so sad?" And so they told him all about the things that had happened to Jesus and that he was gone and they thought that he was never coming back. And so Jesus said, "Don't you believe all of the scriptures that talk about Jesus and when he would come and what would happen?" And so while they continued to walk, Jesus talked to them about the things in the Bible that told them all about what he was going to do. But they still didn't realize it was Jesus. When they finally got to the town, they invited Jesus over to have a meal with them. And so he agreed. They all went in and sat down, and Jesus took some bread and broke it. And all of a sudden, the disciples realized, this is Jesus. But then Jesus disappeared. The men were so excited that they had seen Jesus alive, that he had risen from the dead, that they dropped everything and ran back to Jerusalem. They told the other disciples about what had happened, and everyone was filled with excitement. I love this story so much because the disciples are sad. They feel like that's it. Jesus is gone. All the promises to help them get out of their problems are gone. They feel like it's over. We can't escape all of the problems that we're facing. Jesus is gone. But he's right there with them. He's talking with them. The Bible actually says that Jesus was teaching them things while they were walking, and they were amazed at the things that Jesus said, and they still didn't even know it was him. It wasn't until they got to the town and Jesus broke some bread and they were like, "Oh, it's you!" And I love that thought that even though we don't realize it, Jesus is in all of our problems. He shows himself to us in different ways. Maybe for you in the middle of your problem, if you're at school, maybe it's actually a teacher helping you, and Jesus has sent a teacher or a friend. You see, Jesus helps us in so many different ways. I love the Bible says, "Don't worry, don't be afraid. I will always be with you. I will never abandon you. I will always be by your side. And even when it seems like things are going wrong, I promise you that I've got a plan to make it all okay in the end. It might not seem okay right now, but at the end, you'll look back and realize I was there the whole time." And so the next time you face a problem, or the next time something feels like it's out of your control, I want you to remember this story of the road to Emmaus, where 2 of Jesus' disciples, 2 of Jesus' followers, these are people that had seen Jesus. They didn't even realize that in the middle of their sorrow, in the middle of their sadness, that Jesus was right there the whole time. And in the middle of your problems, when you feel like it's out of your control and you don't know what to do, that Jesus is there with you the whole time. You just need to trust that He's in control. You need to be praying and asking for help, reading your Bible to find out what it says about what Jesus will do for you. Because this is what I promise you. When you get to the other side of your problem and you look back, you'll realize that Jesus was with you all along. And so this is the big point. It's what I want you to remember. Write it down in a book, put it on the back of your door, put it somewhere that you'll remember, so that when you're facing a problem, you'll remember this, that Jesus is with you always. No matter what's going on, no matter how difficult it seems, Jesus is with you always. Welcome back. I hope you were paying attention, because you know what it's time for. The Bible quiz. It's going to be so much fun. The way this works is we're going to ask you a question and give you two possible answers. If you think the first answer is correct, put your hands on your head. If you think the second answer is correct, put your hands on your shoulders. Your teachers and leaders will be watching. Here we go with question number 1. What was the name of the town the disciples were walking to? Were they going to the town called Emmaus, or were they going to the town called London? You've got 5 seconds. Isla, what do you think the answer was?
London.
Not London, it was Emmaus. Oh well, let's see if you can get the next one right. Question number 2. How many disciples were traveling to Emmaus together? Was there 2 disciples? Or was there 5 disciples? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, Isla, what do you think the answer is?
5 disciples.
No, it was 2 disciples. I've tricked you twice in a row. You know what? I reckon you'll get the next one right. Question number 3. Someone special joined the disciples on the road. Was it the Easter Bunny? Or was it Jesus? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, Isla, this is an easy one. Who joined them on the road?
Jesus.
It was Jesus. Well done. Question number 4. When Jesus joined them, did they realize that it was Jesus? Yes or no? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, Isla, what do you think the answer is? No, they didn't realize it was Jesus, which leads us into the last question. Question number 5. When did they realize that it was Jesus? Was it when He poured them a drink, or was it when He gave them some bread? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, Isla, what's the answer?
Bread.
When He gave them bread and gave thanks. Well done. But you know what? I love that we learned today that even when we don't realize that Jesus is with us, He's with us.
And that He'll be with us in the future too.
That's right. He never leaves us alone. I'm Buckle.
And I'm Isla.
And we'll see you next week on The Link Show. Bye.